Hi, this is Trish Kendall with Choose and Become with another Trish Kendall Speaks episode. Yesterday was Lily's sweet 16 birthday. It was a Saturday. She just flew home Friday night from a school trip. She took a school trip for her first week of spring break. And Joe and Sammy left for New Jersey for a soccer tournament. So it was just me and Lily yesterday. We're getting together with family tonight to celebrate her birthday. But Lily and I had a mother-daughter day. I planned out a day for her with just some special things for us. And we had an amazing, just a wonderful day. Now, so I have a couple things here. One is most people that follow me know this, or who are in my workshops pretty much know my kids don't have social media accounts. And Lily, like, no Snapchat, Instagram, no kid does Facebook anymore, but TikTok, they don't have accounts. And we gave Lily permission on Saturday to have her first Instagram account, a personal account. And, for a long time, well, many years ago, Joe and I were on the same page that we just did not want Lily or Sam to have social media. And there was a while where the moms and my friends were on the same page at a certain age, when the kids were a certain age. And then slowly, Lily and Sam only had a few friends that didn't have accounts, and then go another year and they have very few friends that don't have accounts, and then go to, oh my gosh, when Lily was in 8th grade, she's in 10th grade now. When she was in 8th grade, there was at her school, I think, hey, Cosmo, this is Lily's cat. And he always does this he always wants to get on my computer. When she was in 8th grade and she was new to this school, she was new to the school that she goes to, the all girls school. She was like the only one at the lunch table that didn't have Instagram or Snapchat. And so we went through this. And then Sam, oh my gosh, the boys get Snapchat and Instagram at such young ages, and TikTok, I don't know. Listen, I want to be super clear because I'm going on a I might go on a rampage. One is, I don't mean or intend to talk about other families and other kids and other rules and other things, because there's no purpose in that. I'm only reflecting on the boundaries that Joe and I have created for our family, the wins and the losses and the in-betweens, the step forwards and the step backwards that we've learned as parents, and just reflecting on just our decisions as it relates to social media. And so Sam, gosh, he's in 8th grade now. I think by the time he was in 6th grade, he was the only kid during carpool, to whatever sport that didn't have a phone. Sam didn't get a phone till he was 14. And then B, doesn't have any social media accounts. So fast forward, Lily over the years has been accepting, first off, she doesn't actually have a choice. She can't have a social media account, but she could choose to be like rude about it and confrontational about it and argumentative about it. And she could close herself in her room. She could throw temper tantrums. Like, there's lots of things that are pretty normal for any teenager to do, to, say they don't agree with a decision. And Lily had some ups and downs with social media, but she's always just been very communicative and open and just like expressing her thoughts and trying to come to any conversation with me and Joe from a place of open conversation versus confrontation. And in fact, so much so that when she came to me, I think it was her freshman year. I think it was the summer of her 10th grade year, because she's in 10th grade now. So I think the summer of her 10th grade year, she asked me if she could get an Instagram account, just, one Instagram, not TikTok or Snapchat. And she was so reasonable, and she's been so reasonable through the years, that it was actually hard for me to stick with and think about no social media. So I went to Joe and I was like, I think we gotta she's being so reasonable. She's mature about these things, blah, 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 blah. And Joe was like, no. And you talk to Lily, he's like, you're so happy. You're happy. You're healthy. You have so much going on. You're on your screens doing your other things. She loves to watch her shows, and she's on YouTube. She uses my YouTube account, and she follows certain things that she loves to watch on YouTube. So it's not like she's screen free. Let's be clear. But he's like, you're so happy and things are going so well. I don't even want to open up, whatever words he said, Pandora's box. And she was like, okay. And so fast forward, she had one friend standing, not at her existing school, but when she went to the Montessori school, there's one mom. She and I stuck to, our girls are like besties, even though they go to different schools now. We both stuck with no social media. And then her one friend, she's turning 16, got an Instagram account. So that opened up my perspective a little bit more. And so I finally talked to Joe, and I was like, all right, it's it's time. She's gonna get social media at some point when she goes to college. So it's time. She needs to have her own account. And so he's like, okay. And so when she was off on her spring break trip, I knew she was flying home with her girlfriends from school. And so on Friday, I sent her a text saying, we're going to give this to you now that you're 16. I didn't even want to call it a present because I don't think it's a present, actually. So I did not call it a birthday present. I just said, now that you're 16 and you've, shown all of these things, I didn't say this all on text, but she knows this. And we talked about it when she came home. You can have a personal Instagram account. And so I told her in case she wanted to do it with her friends when she was there, which she did from the airport. So she's super excited. She's got this Instagram account, and she was like, and so we spent all day Saturday together. And while we were together, she was setting up her account and figuring out stories and texting her friends and asking, how do you do a story, and figuring out songs for her 16th birthday and the pictures she was and then who she was going to follow. And it was like a Christmas present, like truly a big deal. I could see it. I can see her brain light up. I could see already early that dopamine going, oh my gosh, I posted something. Oh, I heard the notification, and seeing it back, and nothing unusual, all the things that happen with social media. And she said to me yesterday, she said, Mom, it is different. It's different having my own account than just following through the people and bands and stuff she likes to follow through my account. And I was like, right. And then we were watching a show. I'm making this long, but bear with me here. We were watching a show together. It doesn't matter what we were watching. We were watching a show together, and I kept hearing her phone buzz because she had the Instagram notifications on, and she would, grab it and look. And I felt myself, the anxiety and the fear and my thinking about the future, terrible things, like whatever it is. Oh my God, is she just going to be looking at notifications at school? And is she going to walk like this now? And is she not going to be present to what's going on? And is she going to worry about what people think? And is she going to want more dopamine hits with my brain started racing out of control. And I feel it in my body, and it's all about fear. It's fear of, is something going to happen where she's not happy? Is she going to be all those things that I just said. And it's fear about her health, her emotional health, her mental health, her physical health. But she's so healthy in all the categories. And so my reaction as we were sitting there and she was looking at the notification, I pounced out of fear. But my thinking was all about the fear of the bad and the future, and not being present to just what's happening in the moment. She's got a Christmas present. It's like the shiny new object. Of course, Of course she's looking at it and thinking about it and interested in it, and she should be. But I pounced. And I was like, Lily, what are those, like, can you just, we have to have a conversation, because the other thing is we have a two-way agreement. People know who go into my workshops, they know about two-way agreements. We have an agreement that we're going to work on together for her having Instagram. And part of what we agreed to, Lily and I, was that after 30 days of using Instagram, we'll sit down and construct an agreement. And that was her idea, which was so good. I'll put a little pause here for a second. So I'm going to put a pin in me pouncing out of fear, and I want to go to here for a second. Lily and I have talked about Instagram for probably the last 6 to 9 months, driving in the car, and she's just processing and thinking about talking to her dad. Because I always said, Dad and I have to both say yes together. This is just something that I can't trump. Like, this is an agreement that Dad and I have had, and it has to be something that we say yes to together. So please have a conversation with your dad. Think about what you want to talk to your dad about. So in that modeling and thinking through conversation that Lily and I had been having, we talked about the elements of an agreement and the expectations with social media. And she already knows a lot of what my expectations are and the boundaries, what types of pictures can be posted, what types of pictures can't be posted, things like that, time on it. But what we were talking about is, I said, okay, and when you do get Instagram, we're gonna set it to 30 minutes a day. And I'm driving 30 minutes a day. And she's like, Mom, she goes, sometimes I don't even use my phone for 30 minutes a day because I'm so busy from sun up to sundown at school, which is true. And she's like, Mom, I understand. I understand that there needs to be boundaries around it. What if we do this? Because she started feeling like I'm already taking control away from her. Here I'm talking about giving her something that she is wanted and that she's mature enough for, and that I think her brain is evolved and grown enough for, and emotionally she's ready for. But I'm saying I'm going to give you Instagram, but with all of these controls around it. And that's not going to help her grow, and make decisions and decide what works for her and what doesn't work for her. So she timed me out when we were in the car. And she said, Mom, how about this? Let's make an agreement that will take 30 days. When you and Dad choose to give me Instagram, she didn't know it was going to happen when she was 16. She was thinking it was going to be when she was a junior, or when she was going into her junior year of high school. And it's March right now. So March of her 10th grade year. So she said, why don't you give me 30 days to use it? And then at the end of 30 days, you and I together will go through and look at how many times I picked it up, how long I was on it. And I'll stay, I'll remember how I felt, and all that stuff. And I was like, okay, that's totally reasonable. And in my brain, I'm thinking, oh my gosh, she's so smart. She's so smart. First up, that she feels safe, that she can have any conversation with me and she can speak her mind. And most of the time I am open to listening to her, but not all of the time. A lot of times I'm like, not listening because I just want to say how it should be. But when I do listen to her with an open mind, I learned so much. And that was a great moment for me to learn that even the two-way agreement doesn't have to be structured in my way. So I'm glad I listened to her. We came up with this 30-day assessment, if you will, the 30-day assessment. So now fast forward to last night when we're sitting on the couch or whatever it was, watching the show together, and her Instagram is ding or buzz. And so I pounce out of fear of the future, of what could be. And I was like, well, Lily, what we didn't add to the 30-day assessment is how many times you get notified, looking at how many times you get notified, how many times you pick your phone up. And she's like, Mom, okay, after 30 days, we will look at everything. And I could just, I could just tell, of course she was disappointed. She was disappointed that I was on her for this, And so she put her phone away. We watched the show together, and then we were driving. We do our best conversations driving. And we were driving to dinner, and she said, I will now turn off she was like, I'm going to turn off my notifications on Instagram. I'm doing it now. And I know she's doing that for me. And I'm grateful that she is, because I don't like it. And she said, I know, Mom, that this is hard and it's different. And you and I are going to have some arguments about it. And I just want you to know that I want to talk to you about it. And it will be okay. This is my 16-year-old saying to me, Mom, it will be okay. And I was like, oh, Lily, first, I just acknowledged that my pouncing was out of fear. The situation plus the way I was thinking, whether it's subconscious or conscious, but this was conscious, equals my response for everyone. Situation plus thinking equals the response. You can change your response, or you can focus on changing your thinking. And I was like, it was definitely out of fear. And it's not totally rational. It's validated through things that I know, that I've harped on for years through science and how social media impacts the brain and all that crap, and the addictive. And I worry about the addictiveness in my, anything I'm going to pass on to my kids from an addictive nature. And she's like, you know what? It's okay. We're going to get through this. And I know that it comes from fear, and we'll just work on it together. I went like, okay, it's amazing. It's amazing to be able to have Lily do a timeout, have me be able to admit where my reaction is coming from, even though she didn't need me to admit it because she knew it. And then I get to choose. I get to choose to change my thinking in this situation. I get to choose to, instead of thinking, and my, the internal story being, oh my God, these notifications are going to make her not be good at school, or it's going to hurt her brain, or she's going to become an addict. I mean, seriously. Instead of thinking and focusing on the fear of what could be, I can shift my thinking to, she's playing with her shiny new Christmas present, a Christmas present that every kid around her has had, besides this one, for years. Let her enjoy it. Let her experience it. And that would be one thinking. And then the second thinking is, and she is smart enough and evolved enough emotionally that my thinking is going to be, she will become aware. She needs to become aware of the good and the bad around having this Instagram account. So that's a whole long thing about Lily's birthday, sweet 16, getting her Instagram account, not a birthday present, but something that she has earned the right to have, and that I and Joe are ready for her to have. And just thinking, you know what? We each have the power to choose what we do in any given moment. And oftentimes, if you're like me, we might react a certain way, but that's not helpful. It hurts the situation. It doesn't help the situation. It's ineffective. It's not effective. It's inappropriate. It's not appropriate. But that doesn't mean we also then have the power to time out and reset immediately. We can immediately reset and make a different choice. And we can reflect later. Maybe we don't have it in us to make a different choice in that moment, but we can reflect later. What was the situation? What was I thinking, subconscious or consciously? And what was the response? What was my response? And how did that impact me, the person, the situation? Is that helpful? Is it hurtful? Is it effective? Is it ineffective? Do I want it to change? Because if you do, you have the power to make the change. There's my story, Instagram and Lily. Thanks for being along this journey with me. Choose and become.